WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
All right, that music means that Jim George is here. And we're going to talk about everything under the sun. If you have a question for Jim about technology, maybe you are specifically about cable TV, and he's got some exciting news too about what he's doing over at American Cable Services, and he's been working with the city of Ocala to set up their whatever over in the old Wells Fargo Bank. Yeah. You tell us every week, and I still don't know exactly how to tell people what you do. So good morning, Jim.
Good morning.
How you doing?
Fine, thank you.
How is it going downtown, that project you're working on?
Well, it's actually completed on my part, except they pointed out a few cosmetics they'd like to have changed, and I'm going to change those this morning, which means I'll officially be backing out as of today.
Oh, my.
You see, isn't that always the case? It works, and they want it to look good also.
Well, the parts we chose just couldn't be bent that way. In other words, couldn't be assembled in a manner that would look decent. And I have to admit, it didn't look right. So I said, no problem. I'll just come back and change the methodology.
Do you know what? I do have a problem with making things look good, though. Mm-hmm. All the plugs are in the back. Isn't that a pain?
It is.
Shouldn't the plugs all be in the front?
Well, a patch panel has all the plugs. Patch panels have plugs in the front. And you just patch. That's, the old way, like the old telephone.
That's what we should have.
Yeah.
Everything should be that way.
Yeah, everything should be in the front.
Isn't it crazy? You have to pull out a couch just to plug in something.
Oh, plug out a couch. Yeah. Mm-hmm. That's what they make extension cords for.
Especially during Christmas time. They're all over the place.
Oh, boy. We're going to be doing it again.
I mean, all those USB ports on my computer, they're all in the back.
They're all in the back.
Why can't they be in the front?
They're trying to hide them from you so you cannot see them when you're watching TV.
Because we want everything pretty.
We want everything pretty. Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything displayed. But they make boxes that are, let's call them a junction box, where you can take everything from the back, plug it into the box, and then now the box has plugs in the front. So it's basically a converter from the back of the TV to the front of the TV. And then you can just plug and play. And then
it looks looks good. Looks
all the wires are hidden behind both of them, but the front of them is vacant for you to plug in. Like in your case, you probably plug your computer into your TV, right? So you can see larger?
No.
Oh.
No.
You have a flat screen, right?
No, well, Robin does. Robin has a flat screen, but there's no computer hooked up to it.
No, I could plug it in there.
Yes.
My computer and use that screen and not my monitor.
Yeah, they make an adapter for that. Comes out of your computer, plugs right into your TV directly.
Wow.
But what I did discover is I can use my iPad, push a little thing when I'm watching YouTube, and it'll go to Robin's TV.
Yes, you can sling it. Yeah. There you go.
And it says, what is this? It's what I'm watching on my
Yeah, there it is.
I don't know how it got there, but it is. That's the same thing I was watching. How'd you do that?
Yeah. Cell phones are crazy. Mine this morning set me an alarm at 9 a.m. Why? Why would my alarm after all these years of having it, the cell phone just alarmed me at 9 a.m?
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what we were talking about the other day? Things that we would be very skillful at that younger people would have no clue how to do. One of them was set an old analog alarm clock. Mm-hmm. I mean, to me, that seems like really they'd have a hard time figuring that out. But I guess pulling that peg out of the back, and then turning it so that little thing that tells it what time to go off.
Right.
So what kind of alarm clock do you have? An old fashioned?
No, my wife has a clock radio. Those are the only alarms we have in the house, are clock radio.
I have one of those too.
We set them just in case we have to get up, super early or something. I get up every morning at 4:35, so it makes I'm up.
Without an alarm.
Without an alarm.
Me too.
I can go to bed at 3 and still get up at 4:30.
Me too.
Wow.
I don't need an alarm.
I need an alarm.
I get up at 3. And I try to get to bed by 8:30, but last night it was 10. Mm-hmm. No problem. 3 o'clock, I'm up.
Right, there you go.
Wow.
Now, later on, when I'm talking to somebody on the show, I might fall asleep.
Yeah. That's your internal clock is wide awake. Most of us, have that internal clock. We just don't want to set it for early. We just purposely say, I'll just go back to bed for 5 minutes. That 5 minutes ends up being a couple hours later.
That's me.
Do you get up early because you have to, or is that just natural for you?
It's natural for me. Yeah.
See,
I think the military set that in. As a kid in high school, you don't get up naturally early.
No, you get about 1 in the
You're
afternoon.
dragging, you're.
Oh gosh, I couldn't stand getting up at 1 in the afternoon. That would be so horrible for me.
That was my children, though, when they were in
Once
high
you
school.
go in the military, I mean, they get you up at 4:30, run you for a couple hours, make you stand in line for an hour just to eat breakfast.
Oh.
Then they run you through the breakfast line, and then they run you back out again.
Wow.
So everything is hurry up and wait.
Yeah.
They used to always call it, but
Speaking of hurry up and wait, you ready for the phone?
I'm ready.
Good morning. You're on the air with Jim George.
Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Sonny calling. I have a regular laptop. I don't know if you want me to say the name, but it has a port underneath where I can get to the memory, and it says I can upgrade the memory on my information there. And I'm just wondering how that would happen. And the other thing I should have hit this first is a lot of cameras today, you don't have film naturally. You have a SD card. And you were talking about the television sets being able to plug it in and see your computer screen on the TV. Well, they have that port in there where you can take your pictures that you have on your SD card and stick it into a little port on the TV and watch your pictures on TV. I don't know. I guess a lot of people are aware of it because I found out about it. I'm electronically challenged.
Right.
But my main thing was the question on the on increasing the memory or somehow or the other. I tried all the different programs to make room on my disk and all that. And I think if I just change out that memory for a higher capacity memory, would that help? And I'll hang up and listen. Have a great weekend, everybody.
Thank you. All right. So the you have a card in the bottom. There's a card slot, and depending upon what laptop you have, the cards are rectangular, probably about 1 inch by 6 inches, and they come in different megabits. So you can get 1 megabit, 10 megabits, 20 megabits, 100 megas, a gig. You can get a 10 gig card, but a lot of it will say that the maximum allowable random access memory, the RAM card, is X. So if it's 10 gig, you might want to put 2 5 gig cards in there. There's usually 2 slots in a laptop. A larger laptop, or let's say your Apple, might have 4 slots and allow you to go up higher. But in a normal, it's usually just 2 slots. But you got to find out first by reading your manual. And you can, if you don't have your manual anymore, you can go online just by typing in your model number and then type in maximum RAM capacity. And it will tell you, and then you just buy the cards and put them in. No technician needed. Just unscrew the little plastic.
Oh, really?
Yep. Open it up. You'll see the cards there. Pull the card out, shove in a new card, close it up, turn it on,
seem easy.
and there you go.
It
is. It's just like that.
Yeah, but if I took the screws out, I'd say, "Oh man, now I can't find them." I don't know.
Oh boy, yeah, you have to do it on the knock on granite. You got to do it on do it on something where you can find those screws.
Well, TJ did that. He got me one of those extra RAM cards for my computer, and he this was years ago, and then he put it in there and upgraded my memory.
Right,
so
right.
It was really
so
nice.
what it's for is like when you open up, let's say Google, but you already had opened up your word processor. You were writing a letter, and you already had opened up, let's say, your email account. So now you have email opened up. You have a Word opened up, or WordPerfect, or some form of writing. Now you're opening up the internet. You're opening up. Well, you want that all to be remembered. You want to go back to it without having to close it.
Right.
And so the random access memory, that's what that's for. That's to allow you to have multiple screens open at the same time, switch back and forth between them. For instance, you might go on the internet, you might find a software called Jing, G-I-N-G, which allows you to copy and paste. So if you see a picture on the internet, you can just frame it, hit copy, go back to your letter, hit paste, and that picture you saw on the internet is now pasted to your letter.
Wow.
Wow, cool. We have a phone call. After the phone call, remind me to tell Jim, Robin, about the how the Playboy centerfold
Oh,
Okay.
was partly responsible for the development of the JPEG.
There you go. That was a good story.
And while you're talking to
Oh.
whoever's on the phone, I'm going to see if I have that
Lena.
story, so I don't have to. Yeah, Lena. Good morning. You're on the air with Jim George.
Good morning. This is Sonny again. If you take out those two cards that are in there to put in the newer, more higher capacity cards, do you lose your everything that you had stored on the in the computer?
no, that's actually not a storage device as such. It's more of a random access memory. In other words, you opened it up randomly and you closed it, so it only remembers what you had open. So the larger card has no memory of its own. You could trade that card with somebody, and in other words, if they put it in their computer, there's nothing really on it.
Oh,
It's only on it while you have something open.
That's good news.
Yeah.
Thanks again,
You're welcome.
and thank you for being on the air, and find it very helpful.
Thank you.
Have a great weekend.
Okay, now we're going to Playboy. All right.
Before we
That's
do that, I have a
She's
question about
gorgeous.
Before we do that, I want to ask you a question about that. I mean, when I hear you say that, I'm a little bit reluctant to do what you're saying to do, even though I'm sure you're right. I would rather take it to you or somebody who does
Sure,
what you do for a
sure.
living,
Well, people are afraid of breaking them because some of the computers, when you turn them upside down, for instance, you should put a towel down first. So when you turn them upside down, you don't scratch the top of your
Oh
laptop.
my gosh, I would
All
be so.
Oh.
All right. And then you take the two screws out, or sometimes just one screw. And then some of the cards, you can just grab them with your thumb and finger and just pull them up. Some you can't. On the side, there are these little clips,
Yeah.
and you have to push them outward.
Oh my
And when
god.
you push them outward,
This is what I mean.
the part on the bottom pushes the chip up.
Yeah.
Oh.
Then you take it out, and then when you put the new one in, you'll see that lever comes back again and holds it in place. That's how you can carry your laptop with you.
That's
it won't fall out.
All of that is why I would rather take it to somebody like yourself.
No, I agree. I was always fearful of touching my own computer, having my IT guys do it, but they just start laughing at me and say, "No, you can do it." So I've learned the hard way.
All right,
I'm
so
married,
So I'm going to hand you a
That's right.
photograph. This is a poor quality photograph, but the actual thing that was on the screen was very high quality. This is I printed it up here,
okay.
and so. But this is a
In black
picture,
and white.
There's a picture of a woman named
Okay.
Lena Soderberg. That's Lena
Okay.
Soderberg.
Isn't she gorgeous?
She was 21 years old when that picture was taken. She was Miss November 1972.
Mm-hmm.
So there she is. And now that's for those of you listening. I know you can't see her. I'm not showing Jim a naked picture. It's the top third of the
Yeah, he gave me
centerfold.
the one with clothes on.
Yeah.
No. She's
Disappointing.
no. That's the top of the centerfold, but
Yeah.
it's just the top.
Yeah.
You don't see anything past the shoulders. Okay.
All right.
But why is she significant with the history of the development of the JPEG? Because, and I'll try to just paraphrase this because I saved this for you so you can
Okay.
have the whole thing. But so these Google scholars or whatever, these guys that were working to try to develop a way to have digital images. I'll just put it in my own words.
Right.
They needed something that was perfectly clear so they could see if they were getting it right. So if you look at that picture, she's got a hat with feathers,
Mm-hmm.
and she's got these beautiful, perfectly focused eyes, right?
Yeah.
Everything is perfectly focused, and the image itself was big. It was probably the size of half of my hand, or
Uh-huh.
right. Her face was probably the size of a cup. I would guess. I don't know how big is a centerfold, right? They're pretty big.
Yep.
So that's why they used it, because it was clear. The reason they ripped off the bottom was because they knew their boss was going to come in. I don't know that part. But anyway, isn't that interesting? And
Yes.
then so they kept working with the whole pixel thing, and little by little they started getting it and say, this is it. And there it is. That's the first JPEG ever.
And that's up.
And
That's
if you
cool.
Google her name, Lena, just Lena, and then put the word image, you will see what I'm talking about. And here's the article. I saved it.
All right.
Just
Well,
for
good.
you.
Yeah.
Just
And take the other part too, the picture of her, so you can.
All right. Nope, I'll pass
Show it
on-
to your
I'll
guys.
pass it on my IT guys and say, "This is what you guys do all night." I wonder why you work so late into the night. Now I know.
This
get up
is
late in the
how
morning.
this is how progress happens,
Mhm.
because men have libidos.
That's a good quote.
Good morning. You're on the air.
Yes, good morning. So recently, my wife went up to Wisconsin to vacation for a short vacation, and I'm always amazed. I got this little cell phone, and of course, I'm going to contact her and let her know all the dogs and everybody's okay down here. And I didn't have to dial like 1 first for long distance. I didn't have to use area code. I just dialed her number, and 2 rings, I was talking to her. To me, that's just amazing. How does that work? When I dial her, does that go to like a relay station and then to a satellite, then over to Wisconsin, or how does that work?
It works both ways. So it works the fact that you called a local number and the local tower went searching for her. So if she had used her cell phone anywhere while she was driving, once she got there, whatever, that local tower knew exactly where she was last. So as soon as you dialed the number, and then pressed enter, or, the access to get to her, it went out over the internet and it went out over the airways, and it found her just that quick, wherever she was, because it went to the last known spot. Now, if your cell phone if she has her cell phone on her person, it's still talking to the tower. Just because you're not on the cell phone, you're not talking, it knows where you're at.
Boy, I don't know. These phones have cameras on them. They're kind of dangerous. You got to be careful what you're doing.
You do. That's that JPEG thing.
Well, to me, it's just amazing that she's 1,000 miles away, and you pick up this little thing, and 2 seconds later you're talking to her. It's just, to me, amazing.
It is. Technology is amazing.
Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Larry had a story the other day about a new cell phone that's coming out. It's supplied by Verizon, but you have to buy this special box for it. I can't remember the name of it.
Oh my gosh!
It was
a 5G.
Story.
It was 5G.
Yeah, it was 5G, and then there's this like special. You have to commit
Didn't I
to
save
buying
that for
this
Jim? I
special
thought
box.
I saved that one for him too.
Yeah, and it's I forgot now what the other part was called.
Yeah, a lot of these cell phone questions, that's more meant for people like Matt, because they're in it every day. I read the article same as you do.
Mhm.
I try and extrapolate from it what I believe is the technology behind it.
Mhm.
But a lot of times I could be very wrong, because they're just doing something different. 5G is going to take over. That's where the airways comes in. The other day you had channel 55, the Good Life channel, whatever it was, the one you mentioned with the guy's frequency was changed, because they wanted that frequency.
Yeah.
That frequency is very valuable. That's the one that allows 5G to work.
Well, then how does when you go to a cable company and you get a package of cable TV and the phone and the internet, how do they make the wires so that nothing crosses over and interferes with the other?
Yeah, that's different frequencies also, and that's called time domain frequency shift. So everything happens in time. You see it as one moment in time, but the cable people see it as an instance in time, in the sense that it's nanoseconds. So everything happens not at the same moment, but at different moments. So it's time shifted. And it's time domained. So it's on your frequency that you have, and it's shifted in the sense that you can do multiple things at the same time.
Yeah,
as far as you're concerned, it's the same time.
You can watch TV and be on the internet and on the phone at the same time then, and nothing will interfere.
So the internet's one frequency. Let's say the phone's a different frequency. Everything's a different frequency, but all on the same medium, all on the same wire, same fiber.
Mm-hmm.
And to you, it's the same time.
Oh, okay.
But it's not. It's time domained. There's a set time for everything to happen.
So there was a story the other day. I'm looking for it. The automatic meat slicer.
Oh, stay away from that.
Yeah.
Listen to this. This is unbelievable. Okay. It's like when you go to the deli and you say, I'll have a half a pound of bologna. They take it out.
Yeah.
This one is automatic, $4,106. Now that's an expensive device to slice bologna.
I know. I just get my knife out, and I call it thick bologna.
It's better. It's better when you do it that way, right?
I think so. I want it thick sliced bologna, nothing better than that.
Oh, we should go get some. We should go.
So is it better? Well, okay, to go to a simpler thing for sharpening knives, is it better to sharpen like your butcher knives on a sharpening stone, or to get one of those electric things that you just run your blade through?
Well, I have a manual one, and there's different ways of setting the blade up. When the blade comes, it has a certain angle on it.
Mhm.
American angle is different from Japanese angle.
Oh,
So that's why the Japanese knives are so sharper. They have a different angle on them.
really?
So a lot of knife sharpeners, professional knife sharpeners, people will look at the knife and see what the angle is. And then all you're doing is setting the angle back up. Because when you press on the meat, let's say, and it hits the table or hits the wood, it's dulling that main surface. When you have a sharpener, whether it's a rod and you move the knife back and forth on a rod, or it's a stone and you move the knife back and forth, you have to have the right angle. Some people can sharpen knives, let's say, for 10 minutes and still be dull because they're not setting it at the right angle. So when you buy a sharpener, the type that plug in that have the wheels, or the type that you just do manually, it's universal in the sense that the two pieces of metal, metal sharpens metal. The two pieces of metal are flexible. So as you push down on it, that metal starts to move aside to allow room for your knife, and then it senses the angle of the blade. And as you draw it across, you're just setting the angle back up.
Oh, okay. So that's what, well, my mother was a beautician, and that's why there was a special guy that came to the beauty shop and he'd sharpen all of the scissor blades.
All the scissors.
And they were always sharpened, more sharp than your
Yep.
regular scissors at home.
Yep. Set the angle back up.
Oh, okay. That's interesting.
But as far as a $4,000 meat slicer,
Do you know, I was watching this how to do magic video. If you want to swallow razor blades and then pull them out of your stomach with a thread, did you ever see that trick?
I do.
Okay. They're not really swallowing them, but they have to make sure the blades are dull because they're going to tuck them into their cheek, between their teeth and their cheek.
Who would do that? Even with dull
You have
blades,
to
you
dull.
can still cut yourself.
Don't you love stuff like that?
Oh,
No. Yeah, you see that all the time where people swallow this and swallow that and bring it up. You're saying this really inside the cheek.
That's what the trick showed you how to do it.
Yeah.
So here's two things. First of all, Robin has a word, bay. The word bay, B-A-Y, right? I think it's B-A-Y, right?
right.
Okay.
That's what I.
So that's what she calls the area of the parking lot right next to the gas pump. She parks her car in the bay. And I'm going to say that from now on. When I go into the store, I'm going to say, I'd like $20 on bay 14, please. And see if they look. I'm going to see if it catches on, because I think Robin made it up. I'm not sure. Because so far I've tested my only other Wisconsin person I know, and he didn't ever hear this before.
Yeah. But it's a berth. It's a parking place.
A berth.
A parking. So it's
berth.
it's a bay.
It's a bay.
Yeah.
Well, what should we use?
Because you might want to use bay, because if you use birth, the people might run out with paramedics. Who's giving birth?
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
I'm in berth 12.
Has that ever happened to you on a call when you've been adjusting, like your wires and things, and then all of a sudden somebody's, needs,
Would you help me here? I'm
an
having a
EMT
baby.
or something because they're having a baby?
No, not I.
Mhm.
I've had a lot of embarrassing moments, but that was.
Oh,
So next
my.
week, next
Can't
week you're bringing in some cameras.
Next week, I'm bringing in my IT guys to
IT
discuss
guys.
what it is we're doing with because we're launching. We're in our beta right now.
nice.
And but we want them to look at the studio and get an idea about how many cameras to add in the studio, so all the listeners can go online and watch Larry and Robin live streaming
We can do that right now.
with all the
Turn the camera.
different participants.
You know, the Addams family had an IT guy, by the way. Remember him?
It.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. They were the first
He
one.
was the cousin IT guy. All right. Well, you any plans for the weekend?
Work.
No, you gonna
Oh my
you gonna go
God.
see Duran anywhere?
No. That's for Galen. I'm not much up on music. Just about everybody you mentioned, I didn't know, except maybe like 3.
Sinatra. You knew
I
Sinatra.
knew so.
So is there an act you wish you could have seen live?
Not really. No.
No.
Mhm.
Maybe Ray Stevens. I've seen Ray Stevens live. He's the one who wrote Ahab, the A.
Oh, right.
Oh, he's a funny guy.
Oh, he's very funny.
Everything
And he's
is
on
beautiful.
TV every Saturday.
Oh,
And he does a lot of his old ones. But when I was younger, I actually went to a concert with him, and it was
Oh, so
fun.
you have seen him live.
oh, fun.
Oh, yeah, I've seen him.
Oh, yeah.
He was fun.
Nice.
Thank you, Jim.
Yeah, he would dress up like the people he was singing about.
Really?
We will be right back.
Wow.
Yeah, like I want to be a pirate of Penzance. Well, that's one.
Yeah.
I want to sing and dance. I want to sing.
Oh my
He
gosh.
writes all those crazy songs, and he's crazy even on TV now. He's very crazy, guys. That's Ray Stevens. He's on channel 55 locally, which is an off-the-air channel.
There you go. That's that big, tall
Wow.
tower
Nice.
town. Yeah.
TV.
All right, we'll be right back. This is the Source WOCA. Thank you, Jim.
Hi, I'm Anthony with Finishing Touch Floors. Are you considering covering your old wood floors? Forget about it. Let Finishing Touch Floors restore your old wood floors. We offer sanding, refinishing, installation, and custom colored stains. With over 35 years experience, you need to call 321-396